Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research, because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda.
All right, guys, one thing I love, good evening, is a really hot coffee when we come on the show. And I haven't got one tonight. I don't know what happened, but it's not that hot. But it's not going to piss me off too much. You know why? Because I just loved what I saw with Trump at the UN today, and I'm just liking the way that I am seeing this movie get played out, guys. It's been horrible. All right, it's been too long, too many deaths, too much sickness, too much everything. But the way Trump has stood up and told these guys today, it's crazy. It's something that I've been looking forward to for a long time. Someone actually stand up like Trump in front of the UN and actually dish them out like that, guys. So yeah, I think it's great. So let's go through a couple of things. We got $100 million fine, all right, for Optus. Well, I'd like to know where that money's going. You know, to me, this is more money laundering, guys. You know, like this is over the contracts that they sold to, you know, vulnerable people, you know, like handicapped, et cetera, you know, and signed them up, and then got debt recovery agencies on them when the people didn't fulfill their so-called contract. So yeah, where's that 100 mil going? That's what I'd like to know. One of the African presidents, guys, I didn't pick up who it was. Caz may know when she drops in, but they turned his mic off at the UN, just shut his mic down. They didn't do that to Trump, but they did do that to the African president, so one of the African presidents. And then, you know, we got a viewer on here, Linda, up in Queensland. Hi, Linda. And I was down the snow with Linda working at Blue Cow and that. And anyway, me and her one night coming home, I remember she found me in a park, or I found her in a park, or whatever it was. There's a few of us coming back from one of the night spots there. And we were pretty well smashed, guys. All right. I was on a swing, right, swinging backwards and forwards, smashed off my head, right, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, freezing cold in Jindabyne. And I reckon that qualifies me to actually be the upcoming police minister, because I can't believe that this guy, right, was found 2 years ago underneath the big merino at Goulburn, pissed off his head, abusing ambulance people. Like, I didn't do that. I was glad to see someone come along and find me in the park. Actually, it was fucking freezing. But, you know, like, really seriously, guys, that's what we've got as a new police commissioner coming in. Someone that was that pissed, he was taken to the ambulance people. You know, this is just absolute crazy. Albo, book for a slap down. That's what I reckon. He's going to get a slap down off Trump, and he's about to make a fool of himself. He could have already done it, guys, but he's about to get up and address the UN. So he's going to be going the exact opposite direction into what the meeting, I'd imagine, on the 20th that he supposedly got with Trump will go. Whether that meeting stays, I don't know. Mike Burgess' wife, interesting guy, head of ASIO. His wife, we found out, is entitled to dual, what? Israeli citizenship. Okay. And then I had something in from one of our viewers, Tanya, all right, and she was just saying that, you know, that ostrich farm that we were putting on, guys, in British Columbia there, that actually there's a 5-year-old boy who's been missing for 3 days in that same area, all right? But the resources are where? They're at an ostrich farm trying to cull the birds because, you know, as people put in the comments last night, we know the eggs are not good for us, guys. All right, we know exactly. So, yeah, this going on. Got a little bit up. Oh, this is interesting, guys. Well done, because I reckon we got something to do with this. Coles and Woolies named among the country's most distrusted brands. And we got ASIO boys out, you know, bikes with you guys every night. But yeah, Coles and Woolies among the country's most distrusted brands, in with police, courts, you know, and all the rest of it, guys. So anyway, let's get Cazza in here. She's not in the background sharing. I don't know. I can't see her for some reason.
Yeah, I am. All right, let's kick it off. Did you want to go with the ostrich farm? Because that's had a few odd developments. So first of all, she's done a call out for Trump.
Mr. Trump, President Trump, this is a cry out, a plea from Canada. Please stop the slaughter of almost 400 healthy ostriches that are going to suffer today or tomorrow. We need a miracle. The world has been calling on a miracle.
Look, so that's her plea there. Now, something odd happened. Look at this.
Earth's on our side.
This is a good omen.
Side of good.
We're being protected. These birds are protected. This is a sign. This is a huge, good omen.
Those birds are protected in that area. So that could be that. And then you got this.
So it looks like the ostriches are saved because a company was hired to pick them up and they just refused to do it. And that's the type of non-compliance that is awesome and will work. And I thought it was really interesting.
Well done. Well done. That's what we need, guys. Everyone backing each other up. You know, that's exactly what we need. That's brilliant.
That's it. All right. So Nicola Charles, she has put out a really great Substack and she's left it for everyone to open. And she talks about how Australia was stolen. I've cut a cut of it. Okay, but go and watch the whole thing. But this is just the highlights. And guys, I hope you appreciate this because it actually took me a number of hours and I'm actually not well. So
hasn't been a Commonwealth nation for over 50 years. But this is the big news, stop the press, because the belligerent occupiers, now known as the Australian government, in Australian Government House, don't want you to know. And so in 1971, as the UK entered the EU, the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II, was removed from all Australian law under Gough Whitlam. Her name was removed, her title was removed, and this was the moment the unlawful betrayal of Australians in breach of their Commonwealth Constitution 1900 UK occurred. Gough Whitlam and the government had no lawful authority. They did not have the authority of the Australian people, but in 1973 they passed the Royal Styles and Titles Act. This was the time when they deceptively defrauded sovereign Australian citizens of their rights, their heritage, These are the politicians that talk about heritage laws and sacred rights, and they have demolished yours on a grand scale. The Royal Styles and Titles Act removed all reference to Queen Elizabeth II, Queen of England, defender of the faith of Christianity. But during her coronation, Queen Elizabeth II had sworn on the Bible to defend the faith. The legal reference, the law reference under Section 80 of the Justice Act was then changed from the Commonwealth of England and changed to Australia, the government of Australia, making a corporation sovereign over her people. This new change meant that there was no legal standard and is still no legal standard for justices in this country regarding the Magna Carta, the Bill of Rights, the right of petition. All of those were demolished in Australia in 1973. Now, justices, unfortunately, and the reason many people, including those from your bureaucracy, cannot find remedy in the courts is because the justices have no real guidance for their law standards anymore. We have lost in Australia our biblically defined protections. Our Australian Christian heritage has been demolished. They have to rid the nation of it because at some point, those of Anglo British and European heritage who built this nation that others are benefiting from might actually realize how their freedoms and their commonwealth was usurped. But Gough Whitlam had to find a way to remove the authority of the Australian people as granted by the Commonwealth Constitution 1900 UK. And so he removed the word Commonwealth unlawfully from every legal document, which made every legal document since 1973 unlawful. Every single one. Every single one. Everyone who was sent to jail. Everyone who's paid taxes. Everyone who's ever paid a fine. If the word Commonwealth was not on that document, it was unlawful. In 1974, a law journal stated that there was a constitutional crisis in Australia because the people were unaware that they were now under the authority of the government, whereas previously to 1973, the government was under the authority of the people. Government was created as a servant under the people, under the Constitution, but they'd switched it by removing both the Commonwealth and the Queen of England, defender of the faith, from all paperwork. They had to somehow find a way to legalize illegal actions by your bureaucrats. In 1988, it was advised by lawmakers that a referendum be held in Australia to legalize a new standard of governance that had at that point been running for 15 years unlawfully. And legal scholars and experts were concerned that having run this country unlawfully for 15 years, we could end up in a political crisis. But there was no referendum because it was decided it would have shown that the government was operating illegally. The government had been for 15 years at that point in contempt of the Constitution, the sovereign and the Commonwealth, the sovereign being you, the people. Australians at that time could have litigated against them. The Criminal Codes Acts of states and the Crimes Act of the Commonwealth could have been utilised. There can have been no rebuttal from government for acting without authority. The Australian government are caught up in such a massive criminality, a massive crime for removing the authority of the people, that even today, more than 50 years later, they still know that they will eventually have to call a referendum. As I've stated many times on this show, they will have to call a referendum to try and sell you on the idea of a republic, telling you we're separating from the monarchy. And of course, after everything that's happened, there's enough disdain against the monarchy, even from myself, after being sold out by the Queen, that people's initial instincts will want to vote for a republic. But your criminal occupier, belligerent occupier government will seek for this republic to not be protective of the people.
So there's a rundown for any of you new viewers that might be on the show. A lot of that's common knowledge to us people, but yeah, they just stole it, guys. And if you don't know about that, you need to go and have a bit of a look into it. And, you know, Gough Whitlam ain't the hero for drinking a schooner in one shot. You know, he's a villain for signing our country away. So,
well, he is. And now somebody sent me this. I need to verify this, but it says the Central Coast community page. It says, who feels that the CEO of Central Coast Council, David Farmer, deserves a salary increase of $18,600. It was decided in a confidential session at tonight's council meeting that he was deserving a 3.5% increase, bringing his salary up to just under $550,000. So, yeah, I believe the community should have a say in these kinds of things. So if anyone knows that that's true, whether that's true or not, yeah, let us know, because it's very interesting. How dare they give themselves all of these pay rises? Oh, that's another thing too.
David Farmer's one of their little minions. David Farmer's one of their little minions, right, in the government side of things. He was brought down here in Wollongong when they disbarred the council, when we had a chick sleeping with a few of the developers down here, and you know, a few things going on, like it's going on in every council, guys. All you got to do is go and unravel it. But I tell you, it's happening in every council. Everywhere there's development, guys, there's shit going on.
Yeah, and I was also told that the reason why the councils won't object to people coming in en masse in their areas is because the pay rate is increased. So when they're on council, they might get, say, for example, a certain amount of $1,000, but once it hits a certain peak of people, then their pay is massively increased. Not only that, they get kickback and benefits because they also get on boards. Like you've got water boards, you've got all sorts of different boards that they get appointed to, plus they get income from that. So this is the scam that's going on. That's why the people that are not serving you anymore.
Yeah, good point there, Irene. Yeah, we do need to, you know, because the young won't know of all this, you know what I mean, as they're coming into what's going on, you know what I mean? So, yeah, we do need to educate them on them, and that's why it's good to go back over those things. I know it's boring for some of us, you know what I mean? But, yeah, there's other people viewing the show, and a lot of people don't understand what went on and how they done it.
No, they don't. No, they don't. And they're offering solutions that are completely untenable with the Australian way of life. So, look, here we go here. This council insists women be called people with ovaries. This is from Bristol City Council. Oh my gosh. It just gets worse and worse.
It does. It's like incredible. You know how many genders? I got a 2GB clip laying around in there somewhere, but and it's get this number, guys, on the radio this morning. 33 genders, 33 of them. He had them on a form and he read them all out. It was incredible, man. But 33.
Now, Tape has brought up this one. So this is the tax department. So $140,000 suburban discovery amid a $10 billion Aussie trend. So they've actually, the ATO, look at that, the ATO have actually got their own armed Gestapo. Now, I remember, I think
they're fraudulent to start with. They're not even supposed to be there, and now they got their own,
Yeah, and then you we'll bring that up in the in other news. All right, so but look, Scotty has actually defined it again really well.
Meanwhile, the real radicals, the real extremists, are writing legislation behind closed doors. They are the ones that locked you in your own home and called it health, remember?
Under the toughest restrictions the state has ever seen.
They were the ones shooting rubber bullets at protesters and calling it law. They were the ones pepper spraying old ladies on the ground and calling it policy. They are handing your power to unelected bureaucrats, and they are selling your country off to anyone with a lobby group.
Yeah, indeed they are. You know, and you can see that there's something afoot. Now, we've all thought it was really suspicious how Mike Bush from New Zealand ended up being the Chief Commissioner of Police. But check this out. So Javon McSkimming, the former Deputy Police Commissioner to Mike Bush in New Zealand, was busted with child pornography all over his police devices. And McSkimming was in charge of the IT department at the New Zealand Police Force. He oversaw in the rollout of the distribution of the phones and other devices to other members of the New Zealand police. Mike Bush moved to Australia and is now, like, how is it that he's able to be the police commissioner here?
Wow. I really don't know. You know, like, how? You tell me.
Look, I don't know. And now you've got this admission by the fire ants as well.
Well, if we didn't fucking say it wasn't so, these stupid government idiots with their fire ant eradication program, you know, where they were like forcing people to poison their properties against their will, including organic farms. Well, you won't believe it. They've come out and said that they did the wrong fucking thing, poisoning those organic properties, which, you know, because they'll lose their organic status, which means they can't export, make money. Like, this is just screaming of class action. They've said they've got it wrong, but fucking get this. Typical, not because of the horrendous and toxic, prophylactic and disgraceful poisons they're using, but because they use GMO ingredients within the poisons for the baits. So corn and wheat, I believe, were the products they listed. Now they're saying they got it wrong. Don't worry about the forcibly accessing people's properties with police and stirring up horses, sending them through fences, aerial spraying over the top of people's properties, poisoning them, poisoning their water sources, using the poison illegally when it was raining, which they're not supposed to even fucking do. No. They won't talk about any of that. But they'll say, because of the GMO properties within the baits. Are you fucking...
Yep, this is what they do, guys. And here's another perfect example of it. All right, Brad, BJ's just put in. Dave, the Flinders Uni yesterday sacked a team of researchers involved in the algal bloom outbreak in South Australia. Findings don't meet uni money train, so sack them. He spoke on the radio today. You know, we know where that's coming from, guys. It's salination plants. We know what's going on there. They just ain't going to look at it. It's unbelievable. And look what the damage it's doing to South Australia. It's just wrecking the fishing industries. You can't swim there. You can't do anything. They don't care. We know what it is. Sorry, I don't know how I hit that, but yeah, okay. Oh, righto. Yep.
No, they are.
Lobbyists are the problem, all right.
They are, but not just the lobbyists. Also, with the dumping ground for now, I had it to bring in, or maybe I didn't bring it in. I didn't grab it. But also, Israel was basically talking about dumping all of their unwanted illegal immigrants on Australia. So, you know, like, it's just like, and the Israel lobby group. That's why Cyril Ramaphosa was his mic was cut. Now, I've got no affection towards him. He's the practically dictator in South Africa, but he was going on about Palestine, so that's why they cut his mic. But let's have a look at the highlights of today from T-Man. This is beautiful, guys.
Yeah.
You have a terrible mayor, terrible mayor, and it's been so changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law. Customs, religions, with different everything, where migrants have violated laws, lodged false asylum claims, or claimed refugee status for illegitimate reasons, they should, in many cases, be immediately sent home. And while we will always have a big heart for places and people that are struggling and truly compassionate, not only is the UN not solving the problems it should, too often, it's actually creating new problems for us to solve. The best example is the #1 political issue of our time, the crisis of uncontrolled migration. It's uncontrolled. Your countries are being ruined. The United Nations is funding an assault on Western countries and their borders. In 2024, the UN budgeted $372 million in cash assistance to support an estimated 624,000 migrants journeying into the United States. think of that way, but it's true. I've been right about everything. And I'm telling you that if you don't get away from the green energy scam, your country is going to fail. And if you don't, the truth is plain to see. If you want freedom, take pride in your country. If you want democracy, hold on to your sovereignty. And if you want peace, love your nation. Wise leaders always put the good of their own people and their own country first. The future does not belong to globalists. The future belongs to patriots. The future belongs to sovereign and independent nations. I hope that all countries who find inspiration in our example will join us in renewing our commitment, values, and those values, really, that we hold so dear together. Let us defend free speech and free expression. Let us protect religious liberty, including for the most persecuted religion on the planet today. It's called Christianity. I hope that all countries who find inspiration in our example will join.
Yep.
So, and he's not wrong either. Look, it's even happening here in Australia with over 100,000 fake asylum seekers are currently living in Australia. So their claims have been rejected and they're still here.
Yep. No, look, he come out, he had a rip at him about everything, about their windmills, that, the whole climate hoax is what he called it. It's all bullshit. Right. So he ripped into him, and now we got our dickhead prime minister standing up there. He could be doing it right now as we speak, guys. Gonna lick the ass of the fucking UN, and then she's gonna go into a meeting with Trump. Like,
yeah. Look at this.
During the election campaign, you said on the second debate that Donald Trump didn't have a mobile. Since then, we've
I did not say that. I did not say that. Don't verbal me. But yeah.
Well, what do you think you said?
Well, I didn't say that.
Well, what do you think you said?
I didn't.
The quote is there.
I didn't say that. But anyway, keep going. If I did, it's called a joke. Humour.
Oh, you were joking.
Are you a joke? She says.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh,
he is a joke. He's a joke on the world platform now, or he's about to be. He probably looks like a hero in front of all them UN cronies, you know what I mean? But, yeah, man, he's going to get a slapping, I reckon. Oh, love to be a fly on the wall.
And look, the thing is that the tribalism has already started with regards to the immigration. So you've got the Hindu Council of Australia accused of Islamophobia in complaint. Like we are importing trouble, and it's just like, it's not.
We aren't importing trouble. Yeah. They're importing trouble. Yeah.
Oh, we got a lag here, guys. It's all right. It's the tribalism that goes along with it. It's just destructive it's just destructive all round. This lady here, she lives in the UK, and she had this to say afterwards.
Absolutely wiped the floor with the United Nations, delivering a speech to the General Assembly that embarrassed them with zero filter and 100% clarity. So, what did he actually say? Firstly, he addressed Europe, telling them, your countries are going to hell. And as someone who has the misfortune of residing in Europe, I completely concur. He slammed European leaders, saying, your countries are being ruined by illegal aliens pouring into Europe, and nobody's doing anything to change it because they're too concerned with being politically correct. Trump went on a tirade criticising the United Nations as a body, as they run on empty words, and empty words don't solve wars. He made reference.
Look, we'll just leave it there because we're running a bit out of time. I've got to bring on the flyers as well, so I actually might do that now.
Okay.
And the Mondays at Maggie's crew is calling for tools down. It's time to stand together. A corrupt and tyrannical government is crushing industries, stripping freedoms and silencing voices. So join us every Monday at the Governor's House in Sydney at 11 a.m. And on Mondays, don't forget Mondays at Maggie's, the Frank and Charles podcast. They will be hitting the streets this week. Mondays at Maggie's. And on Saturday, the 22nd of November, there is an Abolish Abortion Australia conference. This will be featuring T. Russell Hunter. And in Victoria, we have the following events. In Melbourne, gather at the Governor's every Saturday to end the tyranny. 10 a.m. every Saturday at the Governor Gates. And join the Justice of the People in Melbourne every Sunday at 4:30 p.m. for a remembrance at the Shrine of Remembrance. And the two March for Australia events that are free of NSN will be one in Wodonga at Lesstone Park on Sunday the 19th of October at 12 p.m. and the one in Brisbane at Roma Street, Parkland, 12 p.m. And the Vax Bus is at it again with the Vaccine Injury Bus Tour. The dates will be 10th of November, Wollongong, 11th of November, Kiama, 12th of November, Nowra, 13th of November, Ulladulla, 14th of November, Narooma, 15th of November, Merimbula, 16th of November, Yass, 17th of November, Goulburn, and 18th of November, Bowral. And there will be a Forest of the Fallen on Saturday, the 27th of September, grand final weekend, the corner of Clarendon Street and Wellington Parade. Set-up is at 10 a.m. And there is a court call-out for court support for Rocco versus the Tamworth Council on the 23rd of October for non-payment of rates at the James Madison Tower, Sydney. There will be an 8:32 muster at Rollins Plains, New South Wales, mid-north coast. It is a great family weekend. It will be held on October the 3rd to the 6th. And every day there is a daily prayer space held on X. It's at 3 p.m. Melissa 146233923.
Yeah, and I do believe, guys, we got to get to the Governors. But as I said, we can, we can talk on that. We'll have Frank on tomorrow night, I'm pretty sure, and we can have a chat about that because that is something that we need to do, guys, and we can organise a bit of a doozy down there on the front lawns of the Governors. We, So if you want to stop this shit show, and we should be doing this. This timing's perfect, actually. While Albo's about to get slapped around and we got all this shit coming out, guys, people are going down. We got another copper down in South Australia with more child stuff. Like, it's just incredible, mate, the amount of people that are going down now, So, we are slowly cleaning it up, guys, and what a job it is. It's not going to happen overnight because the world's so evil. But I tell you what, you good people out there are taking us forward in leaps and bounds, all right, because the information's getting out, people are waking up. And as Irene said before, these things that we replay on here, the young ones need to know this. They need to know how their country was removed from them and taken off. Well, not them, their parents, and we had no idea. But let's get to the Governors. Let's talk about that over the next few weeks, guys, all right? And we're going to, we're going to have to do something. We're going to have to be there, and we need numbers. So we will chat about that.
Look, T-Man said about the whole thing with the Tylenol. This is just unbelievable. This is highly disturbing. This shows the mental disorders in America. So pregnant women all over the place are posting them taking Tylenol. Now, what's particularly disturbing about that is this study here. So it's using acetaminophen during pregnancy may have increased children's autism and ADHD. So, you have that, and so that's the brand name. So when children are exposed to that, but the brand name is Tylenol and paracetamol, or as paracetamol. And so here they are thinking that they're being it's just, I find it just
the more we see this come out, Caz, the more we see this come out, the more things that are integrated, you know what I mean, with everything else, you know what I mean? And if they knew that the jabs and the paracetamol and all, these guys knew it, you know what I mean? They knew what to put in to react with this and with that, and the more we're seeing, the more we're knowing that it's, again, guys, all by design, and they designed it very, very well. It's vaccines, I agree. All right, but is the paracetamol, the other Tylenol in there, is that having something to do with also helping set things off? Some of the research says it is. is Trump just coming in lightly, you know, to actually expose all this.
Yeah, no, that's what he's doing, and but he has pointed it out. What he's pointed out was correct, and I didn't realize that. So now somebody's put together this meme, and it's got Trump there saying, "Don't drink your PISS," and then the next thing is liberals basically drinking it, and I think that's about
yeah.
Okay. Now, the other thing is too that now there's a lot of stuff going on about the Madison, about the Charlie Kirk killing. But this is what I didn't know, which is very unusual, and I thought it was worthwhile bringing it in. Okay, guys, keep an eye out for this, all you internet sleuths. Okay, because see how the tops of his ears are covered? No one does that. But there's a reason why. So, Diligent Denizen has said that intelligence operatives hide their earlobes from cameras because they are as unique as fingerprints. And they also can use them for biometric data. So, there you go, guys. Something that, well, I don't know. You guys might have known that. I didn't know that. So, I thought it was worthwhile bringing that in because everyone's doing some sleuthing at the moment.
Oh, mate, just let the awakening carry on. You know, we've laid Charlie to rest. He's going to be out and about in the atmosphere for a while yet. But, yeah, get on the wave, guys. The wave was created for the world to wake up, you know, so.
That's it. And, of course, Katie Hopkins has been arrested as she's just presenting herself in this to the court, to the police.
The 5th of August here at Exeter Police Station. And I, Katie Hopkins, state as follows. I have attended this interview under protest as I was threatened with arrest if I did not attend. I consider this interview and the police investigation to be an unlawful interference with my right to freedom of expression pursuant to Article 10 ECHR Human Rights Act 1998. I reserve my position in respect of any actions I choose to take, including but not limited to a formal complaint and claim for damages against Devon and Cornwall Police. I run a comedy pub night called the Katie's Arms, live on my Instagram at 8 p.m. on Fridays for 30 minutes. I started the Katie's Arms during the idiocy of COVID lockdowns in order to help people struggling with their mental health. The Katie's Arms is now an international community of people wanting others to live their best life, laughing with me and at me. My audience choose to join me on my Instagram channel live. If anyone was offended, that is their choice. I do not republish or upload this content. It is ridiculous that my comedic speech is subject to a criminal investigation, and as such, my presence here is ridiculous. I will not answer any questions.
Well, yeah, they put Kimmel back on, you know what I mean? Comedy wise, you know what I mean? So anyway, let's see what happens out there, guys. But yeah, she's funny, Katie. I love her stuff, mate. I reckon she is an absolute crack up, you know, and yeah.
Look, the thing is that one of the things that I wanted to introduce as well was the weaponization of the paranormal. This is how long it's been going back, and this is just a really good brief TikTok on a rough estimation of it.
Talking about government hiding things, this one's creepy. There's this thing called Operation Often. It was within MK Ultra. It was hidden from the majority of government until 1975 to 77. The FBI director basically destroyed all evidence of MK Ultra. In December of 2024, they just released 1,200 documents. It gave more light to this thing called Operation Often. Operation Often was a joint U.S. Army and CIA project launched in the late 1960s. They went full in on hiring Satanists, witches, to study and see if they could weaponize the paranormal. This is not made up. These documents came out saying that they were doing this. There are even reports that this program had files on spiritual possessions, poltergeist activity, and demonic entities.
Bro.
This is the U.S. government saying, like, let's research this and see if we can weaponize it. This was at the height of the Cold War. They're just trying to figure out anything to weaponize.
They're looking at spirituality as like a science to be harnessed. Because they know it's real. People think black magic, witchcraft, all this stuff is baloney. But I'm like, if the government, they've been looking, now they're like, now we're going to conduct a study on it.
It just makes it that much creepier because the supernatural world is real. Demons are real. Our government was actively inviting that stuff in. It's just dark, you know? That's why we need Jesus.
Amen,
And they weren't
brother.
just, and they weren't just actually. They actually like Aquino. He was actually under the Satanic Church. I think he was actually under Anton LaVey, or maybe he might have started off a different branch. But so Aquino, that was he was high ranking in the military. So, and he was a full on Satanist. So it wasn't just that they studied it; there was actually recruitment as well.
All runs through the military-industrial complex, guys.
That's it.
Mm.
All right, so we're being taken out by Tori Says. It's Welcome to the Great Awakening is the song. So, Dave, if you would like to wrap up and close the show, I shall hit play.
All right, so let's think about how we can get this governance thing done, guys. We are going to have to letterbox drop your areas, you know what I mean? So the people of Sydney, we'll have Frank on tomorrow night. Maybe me and Frank can talk tomorrow during the day. We'll see. And, maybe get a few little ideas. But I know these guys would have a few, and I've got a few. But, I think Sydney or New South Wales needs to make their stand at the governors. Okay, and make it be known. So, we got some thinking to do, guys. We're in that stage of the war now where, as I say, timing is everything, and we're seeing things play out that we haven't seen. Never, ever did I think I'd see Trump get up and address the UN like that. Sorry, I didn't, guys. All right, but then to see that, all right, today was, something else. You know what I mean? Just told straight. You know what I mean? So, let's see where it takes us, guys. The wave's there. It's peaking up and it's about to break. So yeah, I'm looking to the ride of my life. And who created the wave? Good old Jesus. Good God. Yeah, exactly, Mel. Yep. So get on. How's the song go, Mel? People get ready. There's a train to Jordan. Well, we got a wave to ride, guys. We don't know whether the wave's going to Jordan or anywhere else, but we know where it does end up. All right. It ends up with our creator. All right. And everyone being rewarded for what they've done. As I've said to you, the only words I want to hear is well done, good and faithful servant. Will we make some mistakes along the road? Sure we will, guys. All right. As I said to you, God never picked perfect people. He picked the people who have the experience to do the job that he tasked them on. So again, go back to the good Lord. Get your discernment, guys, because the war is hotting up. And it's a silent war and it's a spiritual war. So let's go.
Rise up to the awakening, where the dawn ignites a spark within our souls, cutting through the night. No chains can hold our spirit, no fear can cloud our view. We stand for what is holy, with hearts both bold and true. To those who cast their shadows, your words are thin and weak. You bring no spark of promise, no truth for us to see. But we've got hope eternal, a vision clear and bright. Our strength will shape the future, we'll carry forth the light. Welcome to power of the light. Your bitterness is fleeting, it crumbles in our way. Our hearts are bound to virtue, a bond no force can break. The tempest you may summon will never dim our flame. Our roots are deep in justice, our spirit bears no shame. We rise with fierce conviction, our vision clear and strong. To guard the world we cherish, we'll fight where we belong. Welcome to the awakening, where the righteous stand. With goodness as our shield, we'll defend this land. Our courage never falters, our purpose will not fall. We are on the side of God, hear the awakening's call. You cannot shake our resolve, your threats will fade away. Our faith is forged in fire, it grows with every day. With beauty as our banner, with truth to lead us on, we are on the side of God, our hearts forever strong. From valleys to the mountains, our voices will resound, a chorus of the faithful on sacred hallowed ground. No terror can unmake us, no lies can tear us down. We wear the crown of virtue, our glory is renowned. The world we've built with honor will guard with every breath. Our light will pierce the darkness, defying pain and death. With hope as our foundation, we'll stand through every storm. United in our mission, our spirits will transform. Your fear cannot confine us, your shadows hold no sway. Our strength is born of goodness, it lights the brightest day. We rise with holy fire, unyielding to the end. We are on the side of God, our will shall never bend. Welcome to and trial, our light will still endure. With faith and strength united, our vision remains pure. We are on the side of God. Welcome to the awakening, where the rise is high, with truth and love to guide us. Our spirit will not die. We'll hold the line forever, with grace and power sing. We are on the side of God. Let the awakening ring. It's time to let the trumpets blow.